I'm looking forward to this Sunday for the fact that the Texans are an exciting offensive team to watch. Not so great on defense. And then you've got the Jags with Gardner Minshew. That's an exciting game there.
It's all about Minshew for all kinds of reasons. I mean, he, of course, and I'm sure you would have read my ESPN column this week.
Of course, yeah. I'm not all the way through it. Is that the right thing to say?
A lot of words. You looked at the pictures. Minshew was the obvious choice to write about this week because he is... I think meteoric rise is often misappropriated, overused. That's absolutely what's happened with Gardner Minshew. At the start of the season, hardcore Jags fans knew him because he played in preseason. He wasn't even going to make the roster, or at least there was quite a strong position that he might not make the roster. He had that breakthrough year at Washington State's final year of college. So I'd heard the name through Ben Isaacs on our show, college experts who said, look, he's had a sensational season. He was in the kind of outside conversation for the Heisman, I think 5th or 6th in that. So he wasn't a complete nobody, but nevertheless, he was a low-round draft pick in a draft where quarterbacks weren't exactly, rich. It wasn't a rich quarterback draft. And he was a kind of the textbook backup. Suddenly, week 1, he's thrust in after, 5-6 snaps. And everybody's thinking, who's this guy? What's he going to do? And it looked like the Jag season was done and dusted.
Yeah.
But he's done quite the opposite. He's not only kept their season alive, but he's galvanised the fan base.
Yeah, that's that word exactly. They galvanised a team with Fournette looks confident, running like this workhorse that's there. But the whole team rallied behind him. DJ Chark is firing up. The only person who's not necessarily is Westbrook at the moment getting any passes. But DJ Chark
fallen out. Is there?
Well, I mean, I actually think it's just typical that he's on my fantasy team. However,
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
But that's a great shout because I was chatting to a Jags fan who was saying, of course, the DJ Shark connection is great, and receivers and a young rookie quarterback often work well in tandem. That a rookie will find a comfort blanket. It can be a tight end quite a lot of the time, and they've clicked straight away. Shark has taken that step forward into outside of special teams being a proper receiver. But Fournette as well, he was saying that they just get on well. There's just a good rapport there. Fournette's playing some of the best football of his career. And I think it's a coincidence. I think Minshew is a liked player in that locker room.
Yeah, I mean, he's larger than life, his character, the moustache that everyone talks about, the fact that his warm-up pre-rituals will be just in a jockstrap stretching. I mean, that sets the tone.
What?
Apparently,
really?
That's apparently the rumor has it.
That's amazing.
I think it's Ian Rappaport or talked about it.
Because he likes the cut-off shorts as well.
He likes a lot of things that don't work but do work.
For anyone else but work for him.
The whole Jags fan take to him because he's something exciting to get behind.
Right.
But it's interesting, the way I look at it is Gardner Minshew, 6th round pick, I think he was 178. He comes from Washington State, the good old Cougars. And at which point you're thinking, all right, we don't expect anything of him, and yet he's delivering lights out. He is better than Baker Mayfield stats-wise this year, leading an offense, leading a team. And then we're talking about the Bengals tanking and Miami for Tua. What's to say that there's a better quarterback that will fit your system? It infuriates me that a whole team like the Dolphins will be getting rid of talent from their roster to fit with Tua, but he might not be the answer.
Right.
And it winds me up every time. And yet, that's why I think we get behind Gardner Minshew. He's had a bit of adversity. You were overlooked. Well, guess what? Here's your chance, and he's taking it. And that's, as a sports fan, we love to see.
Big time. There are a number of quarterbacks at the moment. Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Brady, of course, most notably, that were not hyped in the draft that have gone on to become, in Brady's case, the greatest of all time. In Wilson's case, a Hall of Famer, no doubt. And Prescott's not doing badly either, right? So it's great to see that trajectory. But what do they do next? Because they got Nick Foles. And forget everything we just said about charisma and the excitement. And I suppose that is a consideration in a way, that not just commercially, but for a team like Jacksonville, who's had a kind of hit and miss time of it recently. A couple of years back, should have made the Super Bowl probably if they'd had a better quarterback, but didn't. Have tanked a bit, have dropped a bit, I should say, as opposed to tanked, are back in business potentially this season, at least a possible playoff side. Do they gamble, because it will be a gamble, to go with Minshew long term, or do they play the safe or take the safer road of going with Nick Foles, who's not as exciting a player, a character, but might be a better bet in terms of long term success?
It's interesting if that is the way that people look at Nick Foles, because I personally see him as a fantastic quarterback in that Super Bowl, was lights out. But that's kind of he fit the system. He needed to do something. He delivered then. But as a consistent quarterback, who is your starting quarterback, in form-wise, when he was at the Rams, he hasn't produced that. So it is interesting to see what they're going to do. I throw my pen down.
Very exciting moment. That's the pen just went. It just flew.
But there are a lot of teams, thanks Nat, that essentially want a quarterback. And I feel like if Minshew's the guy that galvanizes your whole franchise and the excitement, they got rid of Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
The Jags need Minshew more than they need Nick Foles right now.
Right now, but is Minshew...
I know you're asking, is it a long-term plan? Yes, Foles has won a Super Bowl. However, Minshew could be that guy, and he's younger, he's cheaper financially.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
you
true.
should ship him out. There's 6, 7 teams that potentially might want a good, strong backup quarterback. You look at the Bengals might want someone like Foles to step in, maybe as a starter.
No, definitely as a starter. I think you go. I think where Foles...
Steelers, what happens with Ben Roethlisberger?
Right.
So I feel like, personally myself, I'm not a Jags fan. I would say let's go with Minshew.
Hope you enjoyed the Nat Coombs Show presented by Paddy Power Fantasy. There's plenty more where that came from. Just click subscribe to ESPN UK and you won't miss a trick.